So this is my attempt at building a DJ table facade. I'm going to make 5 panels, 4 foot by 2 foot, and make it reducible to 4 panels if need be. So I'll use some hardware to shorten it up if I get a smaller table. My common experience is 6 feet is the standard table length. Sorry for the messy shot, but I'm getting a little bit of a production line going here. So my attempt here will be to document how I put this thing together. The intent is to use Lycra as the backsplash for LEDs. I've got a bunch of LEDs. You can see my LED box there with a whole bunch of those RGB color reels with remote controls to dim them and change the colors, and we'll get on with the next show here. So there you have the corner hardware. We've got some Gorilla Glue, and basically what I'm doing is just loosely framing it up here, as you can see. And what I do is I glue 2 of the corners first, and then I use my brad nailer just to fasten the corners so they don't shift around. And then what I'll probably do is put screws into the corners just to make them a little stiffer and stronger, like I've seen on other YouTube DIY facades. So you saw 3 panels earlier that I've made up. This is the 4th, and then I have 1 more panel after this. And we'll see how it comes together. Yeah, I just wanted to mention what I did was I used pine. I know it's probably not the best wood, but it's inexpensive. And what I'm going to do is I'll paint it all black with, I've got black primer, then I'll put some paint over top of that, and black paint, probably satin. And then I'll put some varnish or some sort of protectant over top of that just to make it a little more bulletproof. Yeah, no, I'm happy with the wood choice. I stripped it down to 3 inches exactly, and on the long sides it's 4 foot by 2 foot, as I mentioned earlier. So there you have it. The corners are all fitted, not exact perfect fit. I used a compound miter saw rather than a miter box because I'm lazy, and I also have one. So mitered all the corners up. Did them all at once just to make it easier so I could do a more production line type thing. And you see, I'll start by putting the corner hardware, gluing, and then brad nailing them together on the bottom part, and then flip it over. So there you have it. I've got it all gooped up with glue, and you can see the corner hardware on there. So this is the first piece that's going to go onto the bottom. And I'll line it all up nice and flush and square. Tack it into place, and then screw down the hardware, and it works peachy. There you have it. I've countersunk the hole there because it's pine. You don't want to split it, so you got to countersink all your holes. And there it is, all glued up, and the corner brace is on. And I'm just putting these on just for good measure, just to stiffen up the corners, even though there's some, you can see the brad nail right next to it, just to tack them into position to hold them while I'm constructing it. And I think it's quite a rigid design. There you have it, 5 completed frames. Now comes the part that I absolutely hate, and that is coarse sanding and fine sanding, and then painting. I'm not sure if I'll probably show you that. That's pretty basic stuff, so we'll probably show you after the first coat of paint is on. So here's my facade light diffuser. What I did was I went to Industrial Plastics and Paint here in Victoria and bought this stuff instead of acrylic, which is way too expensive. I got this. It's made out of plastic. It's the same kind of stuff used for poster boards and whatnot. So it comes in 8 by 4 sheets. I got them to cut me 5 4 by 2 sheets, which I've cut down to fit better into the frame. So it's 20 inches by 44 inches, and hopefully that'll provide a good diffuser, because it's not see-through. You can see the vertical lines in it. Actually, they'll be horizontal when they're sitting inside the frames, and it should make a nice effect. So we'll see what it looks like. So here are the frames that I did for the facade. You can see that they're all painted. I used one coat of primer, black primer, followed by a oil-based matte colored paint, and then over top of that I sprayed lacquer, several coats of lacquer, and that way it hardens it up and makes it a little more durable. So we'll see how that looks with the diffusers inside the panels. And then of course we got to put the hardware on, which is the hinges, and then I'm going to have one middle section that can either go in or be taken out depending on how much room you have at the venue, and that way I can either go with a 4-panel setup or a 5-panel setup. Here's another idea I had. I bought these baking pans. I bought 2 of them for relatively cheap, made out of thin metal. You can see that it's quite a nice little look to it. And then what I did was I cut a piece of MDF and painted it white, and basically what I'll do is I'll make a standoff with some stove screws, and then on the white MDF panel what I'm going to do is put LED strip lighting, which hooks up to a controller that is sound activated, or you can get it to run chases and different color effects and that sort of thing. And then I use this aluminum strip that I bought at Rona or Home Depot, one of the two. Actually, I bought this one at Home Depot. And what I'll do is I'll cut that down and bolt in using stove bolts onto the bottom. A little bit of a stand. So you can either use it as a stand on a tabletop or a desk, and or I'll be hooking these probably up to a DIY truss that I'm in the middle of making, which I can show you at the end of this one. So here's what it looks like all completed. This one I just had inside. I've already done this one. I'll do the other one following this. And you can see there the LED tape that I got, strip lights. These are just the bare basic, they're not tricolor LEDs, which I'll probably be working with next. And you can see the aluminum frame stand that I built. I'll probably be putting a cross member at the bottom just to have something to hook up to the truss. Still playing with this one just to see what the best arrangement is. So what I did was I just went to Rona and I bought some telephone wire, 4-strand telephone wire, and it hooks up nicely to the strip lighting. And then of course you can buy these controllers from China, dirt cheap. This one is music activated. You also have a remote control, so it's IR remote, so you can do red, green, blue, or a white sort of configuration. I'll be putting on a diffuser on the front, because that way you don't have to look at bare LED lights, and that will of course prevent you from seeing individual dots, so you get better effects. And then of course